In order to read the Vargas, the Navamsha, the Dasamsha, and even the birth chart, one of the main things we have to understand is what's the difference in aspects. There's planetary aspects, which is what most astrologers use, and most astrologers use very simply, which are all planets aspecting 7 houses away from each other, and the special aspects of Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. And there's a more specific way to use those aspects, which uses Virupas, or the mathematical calculations that show the strength of those aspects. And that's been covered in another video previously. Now there are another kind of aspects called the Rashi Aspects, and this is primarily a Jaimini technique. And the Rashi Aspects, they work in the way that I think most astrologers understand the Graha, or the planetary aspects, to work. So first of all, the planetary aspects that most astrologers use, these are more for showing how the planets influence the areas of life that they aspect by their innate nature. And the areas of life are indicated by the houses. For example, Saturn is a dry, windy, cold planet. That's the innate nature of Saturn. Mars is a hot, impulsive, initiatory, fast-moving planet. Now those are the innate qualities. Now let's say we have Saturn planetarily aspecting the 6th house. And let's pretend the 6th house represents our lower digestion, our digestive tract. So that's going to show that that innate quality of Saturn, the coldness, the windiness, the dryness, is going to impact that area of our life, the 6th house and the digestion. If it was Mars, it would show that heat, inflammation, moving too quickly, impulsiveness, and so on. However you want to interpret those in regards to how it can affect the digestion, that those innate qualities would be impacting that 6th house if Mars, in fact, was aspecting or in that 6th house. And that's with planetary aspects. Rashi aspects. Rashi aspects, they show how the areas of our life are tied together. Meaning that, for example, if we have Venus ruling the 6th house, and it is Rashi aspecting the 10th house, or the 2nd house, which deals with our work in the world and our career, how we make our money, it can show that 6th house affairs influence how we work and how we make our money. So that can show personal defense, that can show helping people improve things, self-improvement, or attacking others, and so on. All these 6th house issues, defending oneself, are tied into our work and how we make our money and our impact on the world. If we have the ruler of the 3rd house impacting those 2 houses, the 2nd and the 10th, by Rashi aspect, it can show that things like publishing, advertising, writing, sports, and using our skills strongly impacts those areas of life by Rashi aspect. So the Rashi aspects show how different houses are tied together, their influences are tied together, and planetary aspects show how the innate qualities of the planet influence certain areas of our life. So planetary aspects, innate qualities; Rashi aspects, how the houses are tied together. Now let's take a look at these charts here. How do we understand the Rashi aspects to work? Well, there's a particular formula. The formula says that a planet in an active sign, so here's where we have to know if a planet's active, fixed, or dual in its quality. A planet in an active sign, Rashi aspects all of the fixed signs except for that fixed sign right next to it. So we see that here in Aries, the Sun is Rashi aspecting the 9th house of Leo, and it's Rashi aspecting the 12th house of Scorpio, and it's Rashi aspecting the fixed and 3rd house of Aquarius. What that means is, since the Sun rules the 9th house, that 9th house affairs are going to influence the areas of life indicated by the 3rd and the 12th house, such as the 3rd house for brothers and siblings, or the 12th house for our area of retirement, our sleep, our bed, and so on, our losses as well. And since the Sun is in the 5th house, it can show that 9th house energies are impacting that 5th house of our children. Now this is by Rashi Aspects. Now if we look, we follow it around, another active house. Jupiter in Cancer, Rashi Aspects Taurus, the moon in Taurus. It Rashi Aspects Aquarius, and it Rashi Aspects Scorpio. Here we see Libra. Libra Rashi Aspects Leo, Taurus, and Aquarius. So an active sign, Rashi aspecting all the fixed signs except the one right next to it, and the one right next to Libra is Scorpio. And then we have Capricorn. Capricorn Rashi Aspects Taurus, Leo, and Scorpio. Now the same is true for fixed signs. So a fixed sign, Rashi Aspects all of the active signs except for that active sign right next to it. So this is a combination of all the fixed signs. I just took a sign and picked a color and assigned it to it. If we take one color, we see that green is for Taurus. So the fixed sign of Taurus is Rashi aspecting Cancer, the active sign. It's Rashi aspecting Libra, the active sign. And it's Rashi aspecting Capricorn, the active sign. But it's not aspecting the active sign right next to it. And the same with all the other colors. Just find the sign, pick the color, follow the arrows, and it'll show you what the signs Rashi aspect. Now, dual signs. Dual signs Rashi aspect every other dual sign. So that means that Sagittarius, Rashi aspects Gemini, Virgo, and Pisces, and vice versa. And that's what all those arrows mean. It shows all the possible ways that a planet in that sign can Rashi aspect another sign. Now we put them all together, and we get this wonderful, beautiful picture. There's a lot of stuff hidden in this picture, but you have to contemplate that on your own. But basically, this is the combination of all of the aspects together. And if you just pick a color, and you start at the beginning of the arrow and follow it, that'll show you what sign aspects what other sign. And they all follow the same principles. Active signs, Rashi aspect all of the fixed signs except the one right next to it. All fixed signs, Rashi aspect all active signs except the one right next to it. And all dual signs, Rashi aspect each other. And remember, the Rashi aspects, they show how the different areas of our life commingle. Whereas the planetary aspects that we're used to using, they show how the planets influence the areas of life, but only based on their innate qualities. So you need to know the innate qualities of the planets for the planetary aspects, and you need to know the house meanings for the Rashi aspects. And this will help you be more precise with your astrology.